Lonzo,
Hey, there you are.
what's up, my brother?
Not too much. Just
So we were just to clue everybody in. We kind of threw this together really quick, breaking news. But we wanted to talk about something. But we were in the middle of Gonzo. You and I were prepping for the convention coming up next weekend, and we're busy doing that. And then we had some breaking news, so we decided we need to jump on here and talk about it real quick.
yeah, I know we're getting the banners should be on its way.
Yep.
For the convention, the Dungeon Class banner, and the I know you and Logan were doing some game prep.
Yep.
For the tables that you're running, and I'm building some shelves for the comic stand. I'm selling a bunch of my stuff off. So got a lot of things going on. But yeah, something just dropped on Twitter. It's very hard to read because it's really small. I saw,
Right.
but at least the copy I saw. But yeah, pretty cool. A little D&D movie info.
Yeah, so just to fill everybody in real quick, so there's a Twitter user, Pipax, Pipax, which we're going to kind of refer to his tweet here in a moment.
Sure.
Very small following, like 98 followers. I did something I didn't know you could do. I guess was poking around in copyright.gov, and apparently movies, when they file copyright before a movie comes out, they file a bunch of information, hoping that no one could later they could say it was copyrighted. They can prosecute someone that steals their ideas, kind of thing. So they were poking around. They found the synopsis looks like possibly for the movie, the D&D movie. And so I thought we'd bring it on here and kind of talk about and break it down a little bit. So I'm going to...
And just as a warning, I know that this has been done before. People have found these kind of things before.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're just leaks on purpose.
Right.
Build up hype. Sometimes they're fake leaks to throw people off. So take it for what it is. You know, it could be all fake. It could be right on. But at least it's some information that we can try to build on and maybe get our hopes up. So maybe build some hype.
Only to have them dashed. Who knows? You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
All right. So here's that tiny text you were talking about.
Yeah. There it is.
But I'm going to have to put on my old man glasses to read this one.
Yeah. At the bottom, it kind of tells a synopsis of the movie, which confirms that this movie is set in the Forgotten Realms, if this is all true.
Right. So there's a few things we can kind of suss out from this. I'm just going to kind of read it through real fast, and then we'll break it down. So as I'm reading with my old man glasses on, an ex-harper turned thief escapes from prison with his partner, a female barbarian, and reunites with a no-talent wizard and a druid new to their team in an effort to rob the cheating con man who stole all their loot from the heist that landed them behind bars and use it to install himself as the Lord of Neverwinter. Only the traitor is allied with a powerful red wizard who has something far more sinister in store.
Right.
And then it says being directed by Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly, which we knew that, and starring Chris Pine and Michelle Rodriguez.
And Hugh Grant.
What's that?
And Hugh Grant.
And Hugh Grant is not listed here. So that might be a clue to how real this is. Don't really know, but
or how old this is. Yeah, maybe it's before they found him or whatever, but or casted him.
So we know Hugh Grant's going to be the villain, which you know, when I think of a villain, that's the first person I think of.
So he could be if this is again, if this is true, he could be the con man that was a part of this group, or maybe sent the group on a mission and then took all their loot. So he's the leader of Neverwinter or whatever.
Right.
But he's being played by somebody even more nefarious or something like that. So there could be a dragon behind all this, or you would think with the movie called Dungeons and Dragons that they're going to want to have a dragon in it. You know, and I could see a polymorph dragon being the overall boss for this or something, but who knows? But some of the things mentioned in there, the Harpers, and the Wizards, Red Wizards, which, you know, there's an old module, 3rd edition module, I believe, the Wizards of Thay or Red Wizards of Thay or something. And those are 2 different factions in Forgotten Realms.
Right.
And I don't know a lot of the lore, but I know the Harpers are generally a noble faction. They're very secretive, and they keep their standards really high. There's just small cells of them. It's not a big, like a thieves guild where they report back and forth. but they kind of make almost a vow to each other to uphold righteousness throughout the land, that kind of thing. They kind of what the other thing I know is that they err on the side of judgment and right. Like they try to keep things, in the land good and that kind of stuff. So Harper's, that's kind of cool. And then if it's the Red Wizards, those are in this world. It's not Dragonlance where they use the different alignments. Remember that?
White. Yeah, that's what I was thinking right away. I'm like, oh, Red Wizards. Oh,
yeah, neutral, right? No, these
are
kind of a faction of evil wizards. They, again, this is just from what I know, and I'm not a lore master, but I know that they are a little more into demonology and some of the taboo things that wizards shouldn't get into, which is, when you and I play and all the people we play with, generally that's the kind of wizards they want to be. Necromancers or, I want to animate bodies and have them go around and do all these things. So I guess our players play wizards more like Red Wizards.
Right.
So this could be basically competing factions, Harpers and Red Wizards. One causing chaos, one trying to keep a semblance of normalcy and good through the world. So, and you've got your characters. Now I mentioned female barbarian, right?
Right.
Female barbarian. I thought it said two male figures. It said a rogue and his. Reread that first part.
Yeah. So an ex-harper turned thief escapes from prison with his partner, a female barbarian. I kind of feel like that would be Michelle Rodriguez's character, possibly.
It could be.
She can be a toughie, right? And reunites with a no-talent wizard and a druid new to their team in an effort to rob the cheating con man who stole all their loot from their last heist that landed them from behind bars and use it to install himself as the Lord of Neverwinter. Only the traitor is allied by the powerful Red Wizard has something far more sinister in store. Being directed by AJ. Spoilers, possibly, maybe, we don't know. This could be leaked stuff. We don't know for real. This could be like a smokescreen.
And if he wants to jump in, that guy knows the lore of the Harpers and the Red Wizards of Thay and that kind of thing. But I mean, this could be spoilers for sure. Who knows? But it seems like we're on a cusp. Logan mentioned today to me that it feels like D&D is on the cusp of becoming the next Marvel MCU. So, they're making movies. They're already talking about a show. You saw the trailer that's epic that R.A. Salvatore wrote.
Yes.
Yes, you goosebumps, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I'll put that down in the description. I'll link that down in the description. So, that was really awesome stuff.
I'm sure a lot of people do a video about that video because it was really fun to watch, especially those of us like you and I, and probably Pickett, who picked up that book in 1988 at a Walden bookstore, Crystal Shard, and just because of the Larry Elmore cover and just devoured it, right?
Right.
So for us to see some of those things come to life in front of you and done in such a way. The trailer we're talking about is Bob Salvatore was asked to do a lullaby about Drizzt, and he's like, a lullaby? And they're like, yeah, lullaby. And so he did it. And they told him it'll be used for a video to promote I think the Magic the Gathering, including D&D now in their world and other things. And we're gonna have Benedict Cumberbatch do the voice, and of course he's like, I'm on it. So he came up with a really cool poem / lullaby, and then they put it to some great music and animation, and Benedict Cumberbatch hit it out of the park. So if that's the kind of quality we're going to get from Wizards of the Coast and those that they hire to put out their products, then the movie could be good. I know we're all kind of thinking, oh please, not the last one.
I know. I keep thinking about the last one, and I'm like,
the Wayans brother and all that. Yeah.
And honestly, I mean, it's not fair to kind of you read between the lines of the casting and go, oh, I don't know about that, But we don't know what they had to read for and what they had in mind for them. And I like Chris Pine. I think he's a good actor. I think Michelle Rodriguez. They're both very fine actors.
Yeah, they should do good. And I'm trying to think. Chris Pine. There hasn't been too many movies I've watched where they've been bad movies. Like he picks pretty good roles.
Yeah.
Logan reminded me of Into the Woods. I didn't watch it. It's a musical. I heard it's terrible, and what I heard from it playing in the living room, and I would die watching that. But you can't win them all. But
right.
But he has picked some good roles. He did great in Star Trek, and he played the role of kind of wise butt guy, like a little too cocky and whatever, but came through in a pinch, and I can see that working well as a D&D character for sure.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Ex Harper turned thief. Could that be him?
Could be him.
Would that?
Oh, Ex Harper.
Yeah.
Ex Harper turned thief. Well, see that relates back to the Harper faction where they're really good.
Yeah.
And he's kind of maybe come down a little bit,
Right. Yeah.
Turned him off, and now he's a thief. And
right.
So okay.
Yeah, the Harpers I remember being very I wouldn't say opinionated, but they're good to a fault. Like they're really hardcore, and they can do no wrong kind of thing. So it's almost like you had something that's kind of a good idea, and they've let it go to their heads, and so there are some negatives there, even though the Harpers were good initially. I remember that from Baldur's Gate, and playing Baldur's Gate.
The lore comes from everything, and that's kind of what I'm getting at is that you can feel that D&D is turning the corner and not just being a role playing game that people play on the table. They want movies, they want novels, they want Netflix shows. Which the rumor today is that they're going to center around the Dritz story from Salvatore. So the Netflix show could be the movie that we're hoping for. From Companions of the Hall or whatever, but done in a long format, which if it's done as good as Daredevil or some of these others that they did. Then
Yeah, you and I talked about that long form really works well to really get to care about the characters. If you think about the success of, I hate to compare this to Avengers, but the success of Avengers, I think can be attributed to the fact that you had movies to dedicate to that character and develop them, and you really start to care about them.
Yeah,
you can really do that in a long form versus a movie. It's really hard to accomplish that in an hour and a half.
And movies cost so much, and they take so long to make.
Right.
That it's almost better to do it in a Netflix format where they can focus on different characters' backgrounds and build it out over time.
Right.
Because what if they make the Brunner Battlehammer movie and then no one watches it, and then they don't continue with the story.
Right.
Or whatever. So slowly jumping around within the series and focusing on each Wolfguard, focusing on the different people, and how Dritz finally gets to meet up with them and become adopted, like Brunner in Battlehammer adopts everyone else he meets, like Wolfgar.
Right. All right, so what do we think? Does this feel like it's pretty legit? I mean, is this kind of the storyline? Is it too, one of the concerns I had is they take on too much in the movie. Like it's too much happening, too many characters, but then at the same time, it's kind of hard to do just one character. What do you think of this this idea? What do you think? Think it's legit?
It sounds like it does sound legit, because it doesn't sound out of the realm of it sounds like an opening, a way that we would develop a one-night adventure or something for D&D anyway. Like, here's your party, and then there's a background story or two, ex Harper, now a thief, whatever. So it does sound legit to me, but it could all just be a leak just to get some hype, and then they change things up. So, I know we have to be aware of that, but
well, the other thing is when you summarize in one sentence or two, you really don't get the full effect, the whole story. There's probably a lot more detail here, a lot more things that happen, obviously in the story. This is just, it's hard to reduce. If you reduced Star Wars down to 2 sentences, it might look fairly lackluster. But yeah, I kind of feel like it has, to be detailed, to say like ex Harper turned thief, that right there is just beyond just your old, here's a party, they go on a quest to go get a thing and defeat the guy, and I think there's enough detail here to kind of,
and
someone put something together.
as we say in a lot of our videos, but if you're building a story, a campaign with your group,
Yeah.
it's better to build around the players and their backstories because they're
Right.
going to be super engaged. It's just more fun for you too because you can tease them with stuff, you can scare them with stuff, you can, threaten them with stuff. It's just better. So this sounds more like there's already some background elements there that build the story. You just build from there. So
Well, that's a great point because you look at it, it says ex Harper turned thief. So there's a backstory there. There's some kind of a story that made him go from ex Harper to turn thief. So right away, you've got some kind of backstory right there.
yeah,
Female barbarian reunites with a no talent wizard. So they've had some kind of history together.
right.
They're reunited to back together.
And even the wording "no talent wizard"
Yeah.
means that it's a wild magic sorcerer. Maybe he turned
Yeah.
her into a potted plant once, and she's still pissed off about that. Like whatever.
Right. Right. Talent wizard.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
just leads
Right. Right.
to already some conflict within there. So
Yeah, and then they got a new guy, a druid who's new to their team. So, you're going to have a new guy. Oh, there's a new guy. Can we
right,
trust him?
right.
And they team up to rob this cheating con man who stole all their loot from the heist.
Which
So,
means they must know him from before. So there's
yes,
background
right,
there. Yeah,
yeah. Even though he's the new guy, they must know him because he was behind bars with him.
right.
Ended up behind. So yeah, there's a little backstory there. And then the guy who turned himself into Lord of Neverwinter, he took that loot from them
Mm-hmm.
to install himself. So there's a backstory that the Lord of Neverwinter he stole from thieves basically, and has installed himself. So there's a backstory right there. And then the only traitor is only the traitor's ally. He's allied with a red wizard, so they don't know that he's not just Lord of Neverwinter. He's got a protector of some kind. So a lot of
Right.
backstory there, just like we like. We
Yeah,
like some kind of instead of starting a tavern. I'm so
yeah.
thankful that it doesn't sound like it's gonna.
They could be starting in prison, which is a good way to start.
Yeah, yeah,
Start
yeah.
with nothing. Start with some issues right away. So there's initial combat and you know
Right,
all kinds of things. So yeah, it's a great. If this is true, I think it's a good. It sounds good to me.
right.
Good enough that it could be written well.
Yeah,
So I'm excited for that, and a lot of things that are happening. The games that they're releasing, the video games that are coming out. I don't know if I'll even get to play them or not, but
right.
I don't spend a lot of time on those.
Oh, I'm definitely getting that one.
But I'm excited about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
for either way. I just don't do a lot of one player because my wife likes to play couch co-op. Well, they don't make those anymore. So
No, they don't. But
I don't. I can't just sit there and play while she watches. That doesn't work either for us. So unless we get two machines, then we can be in the same room somehow. And
right, right. Well, I got to tell you, something about the game. There's two things that kind of concern me about, and it has to do with the pricing and
oh
the timing of the remaster. I saw a video where they were talking about that, and it brought up some really good points. That we're talking about the fact that one, the remaster is a little pricey for a remaster. It's $29.99.
yeah,
That's a little. It should be more like $19.99. And the timing is bizarre. Like you should have come out with that a long time ago.
yeah,
Not this close to the other one. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. And then
uh-huh.
the new one is $10 more.
Right.
So you're like, I don't know. I mean, how is
Overcharged for the old one, which is what I feel. I feel they
right?
overcharged for the old one, or they're undercharging for the new video game. But yeah, either way, I agree with you. That's kind of
Yeah,
weird. The whole thing was like no one knew it was coming. It wasn't promoted in any way, and
right.
they kind of dropped it. Like, oh, here you can now play Baldur's Gate on your PS5 or 4 or whatever. So and PC again.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, so right away, it's not looking to be a AAA title, maybe, but I think it looks like it's. I mean, it looks like it'd be fun to play anyway. I don't know what the length of it's going to be like and all that,
yeah,
but it looks. I'm hungry for anything D&D. I like things to play when I'm not playing D&D.
yeah,
I'd much rather play around the tabletop, but when you're not, it's nice to have something that you can kind of feed that need a little bit. So that's good. Yeah. So all things are coming up D&D these days. I hope it all is good quality. They've got the money to put money into it and get good companies to make the
yeah,
thing. So
yeah,
um,
sure. Hey, I see Pale Rider in here. He's asking about a 2021 Gauntlet game.
yeah,
Again, we still play that on the old PlayStation.
I know.
Old PlayStation 2 that we kept because we want to play those older games that,
right.
You know, we're just, everything's duct taped together, the wired cords and everything.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
Well, the time is right. The time is now for a new Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. New mod setup for Skyrim. I love Skyrim. Oh my gosh. Skyrim is the best RPG of the last, 10, 15 years. I had played almost all of I'd played Oblivion, all those Elder Scrolls games, but my gosh, what a leap in Skyrim. Just amazing. Just a really great game.
That's cool. I'm going to show Pale Rider something. He said the new set looks good. I think he's talking about mine. Well, I'm just in my living room.
Yeah, I know. It's
actually, this is kind of groundbreaking news that we want to still eating dinner.
Yeah.
So I'm just in my dining room, actually. But I'll show Pale Rider something.
Yeah, I got my chicken nuggets sitting here.
Yeah, but back there, that's just 10 long boxes of comics I'm getting ready to sell. I have 18 total. I'm getting ready to sell at a convention that Mark and I are a part of. I have an actual comic booth that I've bought and invested in that I'm going to be selling thousands of books. I know Pale Rider's a comic guy too. So here in Bradenton, we're having a convention at the end of the month and next weekend.
Yeah.
Right, next weekend.
I know.
Memorial Day weekend. So and what's cool is Logan and Mark are going to be DMing games on one of the days, and hopefully I'll be able to break away. But either way, either the 2 or 3 of us will be doing a panel as well.
Yep.
And our panel, what was the title? It was Why Play D&D Now or something like that. Yeah, Why Now is the time.
Why now is the best time,
Play D&D, where we're just encouraging people to get involved if they haven't already, as well as not be afraid to transition from player to DM and things like that. So, but yeah, kind of cool. So my new setup is just my dining room, and time when I can just quickly come down and stream with Mark really quick. But
yeah, well, it looks good. Your lighting looks really good there. That might be the place.
We're going to be remodeling here all summer too. We're going to tear this all up, new flooring, everything. So it'll be a mess. But
all right, Tanner has a good question. All right, so will they be recorded or live streamed so we can see you guys in action? So, we're going to try to record some clips of us playing. Obviously, due to
manpower.
What's that?
Because it's manpower. Because I have a booth and my wife and I are running it. My daughter Kaylee is going to be helping me. That's half of our help, and then you and Logan are both running tables.
Yeah.
So individual tables,
right?
Professionally, by the way, getting paid to do that. Not that we needed it, but they offered, so we said.
Yeah, we're getting hired to do this. That's kind of nice.
We'll put that back in the dungeon class, but we don't have enough people to actually sit and record and set stuff up for that, which would be great. But I think if we can get maybe some extra help, dungeon class hands, into doing some shots, and then we can do voiceover and do a video about our experience.
Right.
For the convention, especially after COVID, it's been a while for a lot of people. So I think
there's
a lot of excited people to sit down and play together. And we generally play with people we know, so this will be kind of new for you and Logan as well. But it should be pretty fun.
So Pale Rider says your vid setup looks good. So it's your lighting. I think you got great lighting there, and your camera comes through really crisp. And I think
you said your vid setup looks different. That's funny. It's just my iPad. I was just eating dinner, and you're like, "Hey, we got to live about this leak, so let's do it."
You found the sweet spot apparently there.
Yeah, whatever. It's all good.
Yeah, so they won't be recorded live stream, sadly, but we hope to maybe we're talking about possibly doing a video where we kind of show a little bit of what planning a convention looks like and prepping for it and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what we're looking at doing, but we hope to get some clips up to show everybody. And
yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
not those kind of shots. We're talking about video shots.
With Pale, it always comes back to alcohol, doesn't it? Like,
this is like
we love you, Pale. All right, so I think that's it for our little. We just want to jump in real quick because we couldn't let this go by. This is probably breaking news. We thought we'd kind of comment on that real quick and kind of. I want to get your thoughts, Gonzo, on what you thought. Whether one, if it's real. 2, does this sound like something that's going to be successful and kind of what we're looking for?
Yeah.
And in the comments below, you jump down and tell, what do you think? Do you think this is legit? Do you think this sounds like it's going to be good? Are they doing too much? Not enough? What do you think about the choices of the actors. I know not much about these directors myself either. I don't know what their track record's like, but again, it comes down to Wizards of the Coast has a lot of, well, I should say Hasbro has a lot of money too, but there's a lot of money behind this. They could get good directors and all, so I'm thinking that they. I know Joe Magniello was part of getting all this going. I know, and he has a passion for this game, so I'm trusting that they put together the right people, and you need good casting,
right?
You need a good story, and then that's the secret sauce to having a good movie.
It's why the Marvel movies worked, because the story written years ago was always a good story. The story of Spider-Man is a good story. His origin, right? Everything. It's already, Daredevil's story. A man who dresses like devil but is very Catholic. I mean, instant conflict, right? And then he's a lawyer, but he's a vigilante at night. Instant conflict. Good stories will always translate if they're done. A lot of times, if they're just brought to how they originally were and not messed with too much, you know. So yeah, you're right. If the story's good, I think the acting they can get into it more, and you can tell when actors don't really like what they're doing. So I hope that's not the case here. So
yeah, me too. Yeah. All right. So thanks everyone for joining us here. And with that,
got a video dropping tomorrow, right?
Yes, we have a video dropping tomorrow. Correct. On it's our DM roundtable with we have
Fred.
Wally was with us. Who was even with us that one?
I think is that Fred and Wally DM.
Yep, that is. I was trying to remember which. We've done several of these. I can't remember who. Yeah. So Wally DM and Fred, and we're talking about rules, tabletop rules around your table. What kind of rules you use at your table? So we're gonna use that clip. So that's dropping tomorrow. In fact, as soon as I get off here, I'll be editing as I'm eating my chicken nuggets. All right. So with that, Gonzo.
Yeah. Class dismissed.